What's
What
up? What's up? What's
up?
Jason, we made it back, baby. We made it.
I mean, I haven't made it back yet. I'm still eating some grapes and sitting on the Chateau de la Vauban, and that's French actually. And drinking wine.
They're
You're
back
lucky I
there.
don't have a glass of wine right now.
They're back there in the lagoon, clearest waters you have ever seen.
Beautiful. Where are
Promise.
you at
Beautiful.
exactly?
Undisclosed location. Just this is all I
Can't
can
say
show
it.
you. Really,
I
this is
got
all
you.
I can
Okay.
show you.
I got you. I respect that. I
Yeah.
respect that. Yeah, so I've become a bit of a wine connoisseur.
That's
So
you look like it. I see it displayed out
I've got
behind
my
you.
I've got my own grapes that I'm gonna be
That's
making.
awesome. Fire.
Yeah. So
Fire. The
yeah,
rolling
I'm a
hills in the
change.
background, the tree. Oh, it's lovely.
What's crazy is the place that we actually stayed at looks very similar to this. Like it's insane. Now, granted, a lot of the buildings look the same, but it's crazy how much this looks like where we just came from. So I'm loving it. I'm
That's
absolutely
awesome.
loving it.
That's awesome, dude.
So,
That's awesome.
but
What's up, man? Dude, we just started the show. We just started talking. What's up, everyone? I am Tony with the Keys, and I am in an undisclosed location, and I'm here with my best friend, Mr. Jayson Krisell, Daddy.
it's actually Krisell Daddy A now because we enunciate all the vowels and everything in Italy.
Krisell Daddy A.
Krisell Daddy A. So so like if I'm gonna spell something for you and I want you to pronounce it. Okay, you ready?
Okay.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Yep.
Well, because of the rule that you just told me, I would say grazie.
And you'd be an idiot.
Grazie.
Grazie.
Grazie. I just said based on what you said.
I know. So what I realized is, first off, everything in Italy, most cities, anything ends in a vowel. Okay. So we call Rome.
Okay.
They call it Roma.
Rome.
It's Roma. Yeah. What's another one? Oh, this one's big. So Florence. If you were gonna spell Florence, how would you spell Florence?
Florence.
Firenze. Firenze. Completely different. I don't know why, if it's an American thing, but we got over there and everything's different. Like they don't keep. We've changed words completely. Like if you talk to a local and you're saying Florence, like they know what you're talking about, but it's actually like on all their signs and stuff when you're driving there. Firenze. Yeah.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah.
That's
but
really
if you think
cool,
about it,
man.
Siena, Roma, Firenze, Tuscany. That's a Y. Y is kind of one of those tricky ones. Cortona. Like everything ends in a vowel.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know that y'all had a whole lot of fun. So, walk me through the whole experience, man. I've never been there. I want to go there. Like, it seemed fun. I saw the pictures. Like, man, y'all look like y'all had a blast. But walk me through your experience. You wake up. It's Sunday morning, Saturday. Is it Saturday or Friday?
You're talking about when we left?
Yeah, you leave
Thursday morning.
You leave on Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday morning. Oh yeah, right after we record. So you leave on Thursday.
So here's the plan. The plan was to leave Thursday morning. Boom. We fly out. We fly from XNA. We go to Dallas. We go from Dallas to Rome. 3 flights. That Dallas to Rome flight's 10.5 hours. So lengthy, but doable. Like not bad. I've never been on a plane that long, but I'm like, they gotta have stuff for us to do, right? So we get to XNA, we get our bags checked, everything's good. We meet our friends at the airport, we're hanging out. And when we land in Dallas, we have like 30 minutes to 45 minutes to land, get off that plane, get to a different terminal, get on our one. So it was already going to be close.
Mad dash.
We're sitting there eating lunch at the airport in XNA, and we get a notification that flight has been delayed like a couple hours. So automatically we're going to miss the next flight. So we get a notification that flight's been updated, and now we're going from Dallas to London to Rome. So now we've had to add a whole nother stop, but we're still getting there. Instead of getting there,
like a Drake song.
Oh
Dallas,
yeah,
London,
Dallas to
Rome.
Rome. Yeah. Well, instead of getting there at like 8:00 in the morning on Friday in Italy, we're gonna get there at like 10. So a couple hours, like it's really not that big a deal. It's whatever. So we're sitting there. We end up sitting at XNA for about 4.5 extra hours. So we finally get to Dallas, and we have another layover there. We have like a delay. We have like an hour and a half. We ended up having like 6 to 7 hours worth of delays, cancellations, rebookings, all this. So we get in line. We're getting ready to go. We're getting aboard the plane in Dallas, and it's like, well, we got to go Dallas to London, but man, it's quick after that. And we're sitting there, and it goes, the friends that we're with, he looks at his wife and he says, hey, let me get your passport real quick. And she can't find her passport. So she can't find it anywhere, right? And so they take off running back to the original terminal. Come to find out, she left it on the prior plane in the seat, like in front of her, in the seat back. So they have to now wait for that plane to get back to Dallas from Baton Rouge. So they missed the flight completely.
My gosh. So oh man, that's horrible.
So Casey and I hop on the plane, and at this point, we've already been kicking it for like 7-8 hours, right? So it's an overnight flight. They serve dinner. This plane, I've never been on a plane this big. It had 3 seats, 4 seats, 3 seats. Casey and I are in the middle 2 seats in the middle row. I'm not built for middle seat, right? Weight-wise, shoulder-wise, I'm just not built for that. And, of course, the guy sitting beside me, nicest guy in the world, he's just the same size as me. So we have now – this flight's – I say only, but this flight's only 8 hours because then we have another 2.5 from London. So we get there, get to London. London flight's delayed an hour. So we hang out there. Not that bad. It's not a nice, super nice airport at all, but it's not also not the slums. I put air tags in our bags, and I looked for our bags, and they still showed to be in Dallas. And I was like, well, maybe not. So we catch the flight from London. We go from London. We go all the way. We land in Rome. At this point, now we don't land in Rome. We were supposed to be there at 8 in the morning. We don't land there till 6 at night. So we kind of wasted like an entire day because of travel. But you can't help it still. I mean, what are you going to do about it? So we go to baggage claim. Bags aren't there. I look, they're still sitting in Dallas. No idea why. No idea how they got left. Whatever. The lady at British Airways in Rome is like, your bags will be on the first flight here tomorrow. We'll get them. We'll get them to you. So Casey and I are thinking, that's fine. Like, no big deal. We'll make it work. Saturday rolls around. I look at the air tags. Casey's is sitting in Rome. Mine is still sitting in Dallas. And one little minor note is we're 3 hours from the Rome airport. So it's not like we can just run back to the airport and get it. So we sit there and we're like, well, let's wait one more day. So the next day, mine is now in Italy. But it's still sitting at the airport. So we were like, let's hop on. We're going to waste our entire day because train rides to the Rome airport and back, we're in Cortona. It was like 6 hours total, 5 to 6 hours. But we're like, let's do it. So we have a cooking class that night. We completely are like, we're just going to miss it.
Yeah.
So we get there. So Sunday we get there and it's like, all right, let's go. So we hop on the plane or on the train and we get about halfway back and the airline sends us an email and basically says, don't worry about coming. We've already given your bags to the courier. So your bags are not here at the airport. So we're pissed off about that because it's Sunday. So we're not going to be able to go to the FedEx or the UPS and go get our stuff.
Yeah.
So we were like, all right, let's just get off the train. We'll go back. Well, we didn't know this, but we know now you don't just hop off a train and get to hop on another train. It was 2.5 hours until another train was coming back to go the other way.
I was going to ask you how that train ride was. Was the train ride cool at least? Was it?
It wasn't bad. It honestly wasn't bad. It wasn't hot. It wasn't fancy, but it also wasn't like a subway. It was pretty cool. But we didn't know, is this a good stop to get off at? Is this a good – because even if we had a delay, if you're at a big enough spot, you can find something to do. There was not. I can't even tell you the pronunciation of the one that we stopped at, and I've tried so hard to remember out where it was. But so, anyways, we still missed the cooking class because we can't get back in time. Friends bring us pizza back that they had made. They bring us back like some of the noodles, raviolis. And do you want to know what day we ended up getting those bags, Tony?
I can only imagine. What day did you get? So you left Thursday.
So we left Thursday morning from Fayetteville, and we were
last time you
back.
Saw your bags.
Yep, Thursday morning, and we're leaving in Rome Friday morning at we're leaving our villa at 6 a.m, which is 11 o'clock p.m. Thursday night here. When do you think we saw our bags?
Oh my gosh.
Thursday.
You said a couple of things. Thursday at noon?
At noon. It was like 10 in the morning. So we got our bags Thursday morning about 10:30. We were leaving less than 24 hours later to go back.
That is crazy.
So so your boy, our friends were so helpful. They were so nice. They were giving us clothes, but like the first couple of days, it wasn't that big a deal. We like borrow a pair of shorts or borrow a shirt. Guys don't really borrow underwear. So, I'm like trying to wash and just, I have no change of clothes. I've got the camo hoodie that I'm wearing, the shorts I've got on, and the tennis shoes I'm wearing. Other than that, I have no articles of clothes whatsoever. And what I'm arguing with the airport about right now is it's not like there was a Walmart down the street we could go buy stuff. Like, we're 3 hours away from the airport. We don't have anywhere to go get clothes because they're like, well, we'll reimburse you. I'm like, where do you want us to go? And we didn't get a hold of them about reimbursing us until like Monday or so. Well, by that point, they kept saying it'll be the next day. It'll be the next day. And we spent a lot of money on clothes before the trip. So it's like, why would we want to go buy a whole bunch more clothes? And now we've got all these. So yeah, we're in a pretty big
so debacle. This situation continues.
Oh, it does, because
you're not going to let this go right now.
I'm not going to let this go.
Do not let this go.
I'm not going to let this go. I'm fighting for everybody who this has ever happened to, because if you delay it a day or so, I get it. Mistakes happen. But when it landed in Italy, they should have had a van, some kind of service from the airport, bring it straight to us. I can't help it that we're 3 hours away. Like, we didn't forget the bags. Y'all got to get it to us. But they didn't. And so, yeah, we ended up getting them because when DHL, which is, a courier here,
right?
They sent us an email. It was like, we have your bags, but we need an Italian number to call us. We have a U.S. numbers. Like, what do you mean? We don't have it. How am I going to call you from an Italian number? Luckily, the property manager of the place we were staying, she was so nice, and she called for us. Or otherwise, I don't know if we could have gotten the bags.
That's crazy, man.
But then we get to the airport. Here's the just smack in the face that really pissed me off is we get there, and they made us pay extra because our bags were overweight. Keep in mind, while we were there, we had to buy toiletry stuff. We had to buy underwear, socks. Like, we ended up buying like one outfit for one day. So like, we still had to pay for the overnight. And the lady at the check gate, she was like, "I'm so sorry. I can't waive this. I just have to go by it being over." She's like, "I get your situation. I know what you're saying, and I agree with you, but I can't do anything about it." And so I'm like, and these airlines, like, you don't have a number to call to complain. You have to fill it out online.
You can't do anything right there, right then, right there. If you try to do anything right then, right there, you're 3-4 hours in.
You can't even call. They don't have a number. Both American Airlines and British Airways, because that's who we switched. Like, it changed over. They both were like, "We don't have a number for you to call. You got to go online, fill out the complaint. Somebody will reach out to you." So American reached out like super fast, and they're like, "Hey, I know this is not what you want to hear, but once your bags got to Dallas, we were pretty much done." British Airways was then supposed to get your bags, so it's on them. So I'm like, man, I want to get reimbursed for the bags. I'm not saying they're going to pay for our whole trip or anything like that, but there's got to be some kind of financial compensation, because my wife and I were in another country for 7 days and we had no clothes. except for the ones on our backs. Now, granted, like I said, we were trying to help. Like our friends were giving us clothes, but it's like you get to a certain point that you're like, I want my own clothes. I want my own underwear and socks and shorts. Like a buddy of mine let me borrow his shorts. I wore those shorts 4 days in a row. Tony, sometimes it's chilly in Italy.
Yeah, for sure.
And so, yeah, it was eventful, pissed off, like, but all that aside,
turn it back up to the good stuff. But give me some of this good stuff.
Dude, Italy was amazing. So first night, boom, we get there. We got private chefs that come to the house. And what's crazy, what behind me, that's what it looked like. And so like the kitchen door would be right there on the left. We sat outside and they like brought us I can't pronounce or remember any of the food, but it was like 3 or 4 courses. They brought us they made their own olive oil. We had like 3 or 4 bottles of wine that they brought. It was beautiful. The villa had this pool, super chilly this time of year, but we jumped in. Somebody almost jumped in every single night just as like a rite of passage. Like it was just, we're just getting in. Then Sunday, Sunday was a rough day. Sunday was not a happy day. We wasted a whole day on trains. They went to a cooking class. But we ended up we still had a great time. Monday, we went to Siena. We had a wine tour or tasting wine tour. So we went to this one, walked around these vineyards, saw all these grapes, like saw the whole process. I kind of knew the process, but not like this. So like we walked in to that wine tasting and they gave us grape juice, like legit, not Welch's, not the stuff we drink in the store. Oh, dude, it was like almost thicker. It was so sweet. It was so good. Beautiful. And I'm not a wine drinker. So when this trip started, my wine topped off at Moscato. I was like a dessert. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I feel you.
Listen, now I'm a red dry. I'm basically dry, dude. And sometimes when I drink,
hints of pepper, and
sometimes my finger pops up on accident when I don't mean it to. So we went to that. That was awesome. We got to try the wine. They also cooked us food, and we got to try 8. So we had 4 courses, and you got to try each course. You got 2 bottles of wine. You got to pick one or the other. So Casey and I would get one of each, and we'd just both try. And then the very last course, when they brought the dessert, they brought like a dessert wine, and it tasted almost like brandy, like a cognac type liqueur, right? Yeah, I see you breaking up. And it was good. And so we leave there, and I'm trying to remember, like that was in Siena. So then we just went to like the city of Siena and went to this place where they race horses, and there was all these different places to eat. And the one thing about Italian food is it doesn't matter really how much you eat. You don't feel full or bloated or like sick when you're done. You feel like satisfied. And I learned pasta is not a meal. That's an appetizer. So we went to one place the first day for lunch, and I ordered like a pasta, and everybody else ordered different stuff off the menu. I got mine way before everybody. And I talked to the chefs that night, and they said, yeah, because here you have like pasta as a beginning course to your main course. And he was like dogging American food. He's like, you should be able to eat pasta and then be able to eat a meal. But if you eat pasta here, you're so full you can't move, right? There, it's not like that. He's like, yeah, every night before my main dish of whatever I'm having, whether it's meat but I have pasta before every meal.
Clean your palate, like
he's like, this is just what you do. It's like us having a salad before our meal. That's like they have pasta. They have like a pasta type dish.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I can get behind that actually. If it's light, was it light?
It was like, and that's the thing. The portions weren't like obviously big, but they also, I mean, it wasn't like 2 spoonfuls. I mean, you were literally getting a good bit of food, but it was awesome because when you got through eating it, you were ready for your meal. Like you were sitting there going, all right, I'm ready for my main meal.
That's cool, man.
And it kind of became a running joke because we just kept saying, I don't feel like crap after I eat. Like, I don't feel like it. We just kept saying it because you really didn't. You would get through eating so much food because every meal you had bread and olive oil and balsamic vinegar, like, mixed together. The wine, like you just feel like if you ate that meal here, you'd be miserable but there, it just wasn't. So that was that day.
Something in the air, man.
Well, and the food doesn't have all the BS in it.
Yeah,
it's just pure ingredients, no preservatives, and just
sure,
GMO, all that, right? And so we did that. Then the next day, I'm trying to think. I think the next day we went to. I don't remember what we did that next day. On Wednesday, we were supposed to go to Florence, but it was raining. So we ended up going to Siena. I'm sorry. We ended up going to Rome and went to the Colosseum. I fought a lion. I won. Casey fought a bear. She won. We had to fight each other. We had to fight each other because we're in the winners bracket. I'm here with you, so you know how that went.
Oh man.
But dude, the Coliseum was incredible. Like you see pictures of it and you're like, that's pretty cool. But when you go there, you see how big it is. You see the areas where the prisoners were, where the gladiators were, where the animals were kept, and it kind of puts it all in perspective. And it's just, does
it make you feel small? Like,
oh yeah. Oh, well, and our friend, so one of the friends, Katie, she read up on a lot of things and she was really knowledgeable about a lot of the stuff that we were seeing. And there was like these random holes everywhere in the wall. And I also didn't see any, not bleachers. I wasn't expecting Friday Night Lights, but I was expecting like, where did everybody sit when these fights were going on? Right. And it's all gone except for one little section. There's no seats. And she said when it was being invaded and like they were being like during war, the Romans went back there and started like taking all the metal out of the Colosseum. Like, and that's why there's all these holes so that they can make weapons. And then over time, like the marble and the granite or whatever the materials were that the seats were made of, they needed that material. So they just started like taking it. And so all that you're left with now is just like this jagged rock all the way around it. And that's so cool. But yeah, man, that was awesome. And so there was a lot of stuff to do in Rome. By this point, I'll be honest, I was in kind of a bad mood that day because I was frustrated. Because I was I was in the camo pullover, I was in my shorts, and I was just like, I just want my own clothes. Like you would be surprised how much that weighs on you, not having your own clothes. But so we did that. We went to Rome. There were so many things to do. It was really a lot of stuff that I don't know how to say this. Like I didn't care about. Yeah. I was glad I got to see, but I'm also not like, oh, I want to go see this. I don't want to go. I don't know what that is. So then we had two friends. They left that night. They had to come back early for a wedding. The next day we went to Florence. Florence was exactly what I thought Italy was going to be like. You're walking down these cobblestone roads and we went to this one place. It's like a hole in the wall in a restaurant and literally a hole in the wall. And you sit there and you order and they hand you wine through a hole, like a wine glass. And that's how you pay. And it's all just right there. And there used to be like 300 and something of them in Italy. And now are in Florence. And now there's only like 15 or something crazy like that. Yeah. But we got to do that. We got to see these big cathedrals, these big like churches and these, all this stuff. And so all of that was incredible. Thursday before we left to go there, that's when we finally got our bags that morning. So, but dude, it was incredible. It's not a trip I ever wanted to do, not a trip that I was ever interested in doing, but a trip that I'm glad I did.
And I think like, a big portion of it is the food. That's what I enjoy about a lot of like places that I've been is the food and the culture and the experience like that. And so
you would love it.
Yeah. I mean, that's some cool stuff. We talked about it last week. Did you ride a Vespa?
It rained the day we were supposed to ride them. We had them rented. And it rained that day, so we didn't get to.
Oh man!
There is an embarrassing picture of me. So as we were walking through Florence, there was these Vespas everywhere, and I was like, I'm about to sit on one. Well, I didn't want to knock it over, so the way I sat on it, it's one of the most embarrassing pics ever. I'm going to send it to you to let you put in with this, but it's awful because you could tell I didn't want to really be doing it. But I did it, and it was just, it was not the most flattering pick.
Man, Rome, win in Rome. Goodness.
Yeah, I said that so many times.
I'm sure you did. Well, win in Rome.
Yeah,
I love that phrase.
Win in Rome, you're just gonna wear camo. I was the only person in that entire city wearing camo. I can promise you that.
So hold on. Well, I guess you could say it whenever you're in Rome. You have to whenever you're in Rome.
It
Yeah,
makes
you
more
got
sense when you're in Rome to
when
say.
you're actually in Rome. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm like, when in Rome. So.
Man,
Oh,
that's super
and
cool.
gelato.
Oh my gosh, bro. I love gelato. I know
Dude,
it was fire. I
it
know it
was
was.
so good. I brought some euros back, not a lot because it seemed kind of pointless to bring a bunch of money back that you couldn't
Yeah.
spend. So that's kind of cool to have. Got some corks. There's a place over there, the winery that we went to, they ship worldwide. And it was like the first time I drank a red wine that I liked. And so I mean, I felt like I grew a lot, not only weight wise, but just as a person throughout the week, wine wise.
I felt like you were about to say you got taller, like you grew a lot. And
Dude, I know this way, more horizontal.
I got you. I got you.
But if I had eaten the same way in America that I did there, it would have been like way, you know what I mean?
It's a noticeable difference.
The first meal we had over there, I was like, this is different. This is not the same. You just don't, because when we finally ate on that Friday night, I mean, we didn't eat dinner till almost 9. And with Casey and I, with kids, we eat dinner about 6 o'clock, 5:36.
Yeah.
So for us to wait that late, and we had pasta and bread and wine, and everybody's like kind of trying each other's different pasta dishes and lasagnas and all that. And we got done, and I was like, I could go to the gym right now. Like I don't feel. I mean, we were super tired, but I'm just physically, I didn't feel it at all.
Yeah.
So that was probably the greatest part.
Well, that's really cool. So I got to take a trip as well, and I got to take a trip down memory lane. Memory lane.
So it's 20, right?
20. 20. Yes, sir. 20.
There it is.
Oh. See? Celebration.
Balloons.
20.
Yeah.
Confetti.
How are you doing that?
So it's the FaceTime video camera. So you can do a whole bunch of stuff like this. Oh, you can't see it because I have this filter on. But there's a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, so yeah, so it was super awesome. So much fun. I on Friday I went to work, sold a car, and helped this previous customer of mine, helped them purchase a vehicle early that morning, and that was a fun experience. And everything was with the mindset that I'm going to this high school reunion. Everybody's kind of like, oh, you're gonna see some people. And I've seen several other people that I went to high school with over the years. Facebook has shrunk the world, and so we can see a lot about each other. But it was super cool whenever I pulled up. So I pulled up at the football game. So they were holding some space for us at the football game. It was us. There was the class of, let me see, what class would it have been? There was the class of 81.
So you're 04, right?
I'm 04. There was a 40 year also.
So the 84.
84, yeah. So 84. So 84 and then 04. And so we're both at the football game. So I pulled up like second quarter. It's a little bit of a drive, and
obviously.
So I pulled up.
Late, yeah.
I pulled up. I dropped in whenever I got to town. I picked up my sister. And then we went. She had some food ready for me, so I ate a little bit, and then we went and we walked in there, and I just knew it. Like I hit that corner, it was Tony. Oh my God. Oh, bro, it was so amazing. So I arrived second quarter. Do you know what the score was it was our homecoming game? Guess what the score was whenever I arrived?
28-0.
It was 35-0 when I arrived.
Yeah, y'all winning?
We're smoking them.
Okay, that's good.
So it was fun, like we won that game. But here's the thing: the whole time it start getting to the point to where I'm like, man, we probably need to bring in like some of the other people that tried out like for football, because it started getting like bad. Like there was a play where they were running with the football and one of our players went up and like snatched the ball out of their hand and ran it. I'm telling you, bro, it was it was like mean
Y'all was big
football.
brother in them.
It
Y'all was
was
big brother in
mean
them.
football, bro. It was mean football. And I've got some little relatives on that football team. And so it's really cool. McAllister High School, Black Death defense. They ended up scoring 1 point or 6 points, which is cool. It was a slaughter. So that was crazy. But hanging out with all of my friends, seeing people, and then there, because I felt like I knew what people, I felt like I've seen a lot of people on Facebook. But whenever I start seeing people that I hadn't been seeing, and I forget, like, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Garrett, what's up? Shorty. And he looks different. And JT, my guy JT, he looks different. And Brent, like, it's like people, I don't know, man. It was just really cool.
Did y'all do y'all have like a dinner after the game or before?
So after the game, so we stayed there for most of the game. Halftime, they presented some things to it, had a stand up and wave and presented it to our president, and it was a real cool thing. And so we got some love shown to us, and seeing all the parents and everybody, the community that I grew up around was really cool. And so after the game, we went to what we call the fifth quarter, and we started the fifth quarter whenever we were in high school. And so it's like a really cool event for us. So the fifth quarter is where we used to all go hang out after high school, before, not even in high school, like before we could even get into like all the fun stuff. We had the fifth quarter. This was like junior high and up. And man, it was fun. And so
is it an actual spot, or is it like a certain area of the school?
It was a spot called the fifth quarter. This time we went to an establishment called Spaceship Earth. It's called Spaceship Earth Coffee House. Big open area, beautiful place. They had wine, they had some other stuff, and some nice tables. And one of my classmates is singing, Kendall Brumley. So she's singing. And here's the thing, bro, is that she never sang in high school. She never sang. So seeing her up there singing, her and her husband are singing, and it's just really cool. And afterwards, she talks to us, and she's like, and I'm talking to her. I'm like, Kendall, I didn't know you could sing. And she said, Tony, I didn't know I could sing. I was sitting in the truck one day with Lynn, and I was singing the songs, and I would sing and I would start singing the part, and he was like, do you know that you're singing the harmony parts? And I was like, no, I didn't know I was singing the harmony parts. And so she sounds really good singing the harmonies. And so it's just really cool seeing her. Everybody was amazed that she could sing as well as she did. Had some big riffs and runs, and some out loud moments.
Did you introduce her to Father Time? I mean, did you?
No, bro, I didn't even introduce her to Father Time. So listen, I only stayed for one night. And I got back for we had a football game that next morning. Got back for the football game, our first W, our first win.
Well, let's hear about, is that it with the
so I ended up, here's the thing, bro. I had a crazy night that night.
Let's hear it.
Oh my gosh. So Spaceship Earth is huge. Didn't know it was so big. I wasn't like drinking, but I was having fun. Like, and we were all there. It's just nostalgic feeling. Like we're seeing each other. We're taking pictures and all this stuff. And we're starting to sip a little bit. And I mean, it's just good fun. Yeah. It's my boys from high school. It's like, the girls from high school. Like, we're just all like, everybody's grown up, everybody's doing their own thing, everybody's good. So we start taking these pictures, and boy, people start messing up in these pictures. Like, I messed up first, so I'm trying to take the picture, and for some reason I did this, and everybody's like, "Are you trying to sell us all a car?"
Double thumbs up, which
I did a double thumbs up, bro. It was horrible.
that's a white dude move.
It
By
was
the way.
real so I had John over here and I had Brent right here, and they're both like this on me, and so I'm standing there and I'm like, I don't know what to do with my hands, and so I just on some weird stuff, and then everybody, I'm like, no, we gotta retake it, and then we started retaking it, and everybody had their eyes closed, and bro, it was just a really cool, like, it was just cool to be around all my people.
Yeah.
So we went from there, we went to a bar where I don't know what it was, but I had not been drinking hard or anything, but like for some reason they wanted to start drinking shots of scotch.
Yeah.
And so we're sipping some scotch, and it's good. And anyway, we ended up going back to one of my friends' businesses down there, and so we're hanging out, playing pool, and I look up, Jason, and I'm with my people. I look up, and it's 4:00.
Yo!
I've been talking to Tiffany. Tiffany did not go with me. So I hated that part. We had all kinds of stuff, football games. Ty was cheerleading. Dex had to be at the soccer game. If I'm not, I mean, at the football game, if I'm not going to be there. So I end up making it back at like the second half of his football game. We end up winning this football game. Super dope. Dex runs a touchdown at the end of the game to win this bro.
So you don't like being at the start of any games.
That's what it ended up being, Jason. It wasn't supposed to be like that. Okay.
How bad was you feeling Saturday?
I pushed through. So my whole idea was, okay, it's like big energy to do everything. So to be 100% in everything that I do in life. So big energy. Okay, I'm going to go to work. I'm going to sell a car. I'm going to go to my high school reunion. I'm going to go to the football field. I'm going to do these things. I'm going to wake up early in the morning. I'm going to go to see to this football game. We're going to go get a W. I'm going to go and eat lunch with my family. I'm going to go to work, sell 2 more cars, come home, and big energy. I have a Sunday. I'm good. Sunday. Didn't work out that way.
Mm-hmm.
So after that, I came home, we ate, and I was like, I was really off anyway. So I was like, you know what? I'm cool. Like, I'm just gonna chill. I chilled here with my wife and my boys, and Tylen was at her football game, and I hung out and had a good slow Saturday, and watched a lot of football. Oh my gosh,
so much football.
Never mind. I don't even want to talk about football. I acted like
we'll talk about that on a different
yeah. I don't even want to talk about it.
Especially them. Yeah, because
let's talk about what. So what else did you do this week?
Definitely don't want to talk about football, right?
We're
going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. Well, hold on real quick. Tell your son, did you want to go anymore on the football game?
So yeah, man, I'm just excited about him. So we have 2 more games left in this season. We've only won 1 game. We've tied 3 games. We've lost 1 game. So we've played some games. We've played a few games. We're going to Concord on this coming Saturday. So I'm excited about it, man. This is our first travel game. About to get it on, about to go to there, but I have a new strategy. I think that we're going to kill them with this strategy, man.
Well, you can't tell it here in case the other coaches are listening.
I know. Look, the other coaches. I know your dads, and I know that you probably tune in to the Dad's Corner. And if you do, just know that I'm not taking it easy on you. I'm not calling any timeouts for you. I'm just not doing it. So, I'll see you in Concord. All right, tell me about what else is going on with you. So you had a vacation, you come back, you feel good whenever you land, and you're gonna go. It's hunting season.
Well, I did this before I left. So this story it feels like everything. This was a moment in my life where I had are you gonna quit? or are you going to do something about it? I had this moment. I had that talk with myself in a hunting blind by myself, 90 degrees, sat there and was basically like, are you going to let this moment define you? Are you going to quit? Are you going to leave? So I know we don't have like a ton of time, but I want to tell you this story. And I know you don't hunt, but I want you to just kind of appreciate everything that goes into what happened. So we bought hunting land. I had been seeing this deer on camera. I was super excited about it. I've never had my own hunting land, never had my own spot to go. I've always had buddies let me hunt, which is super nice. But again, it's kind of like with your clothes. You want your own space. You want your own spot to go. And so got my own spot. This deer's been on there. Opening day in Oklahoma was not last Tuesday. So like tomorrow, it'd be 2 weeks ago. That was opening day. I'd been seeing this deer and I'd already made up my mind. Like, I'm going to help get the kids off to school in the morning. I'm going to go run a couple errands. I'm going to be down there by 11 and I'm going to get in that hunting blind at 12 and I'm going to sit from 12 till dark. I don't care. I'm not moving. I'm going to sit in that blind. So I go down there. It's bow season. I go out. I get my bow. I got a crossbow. I pull in the front gate. I get it cocked back. I get an arrow in it. And then I walk all the way to where the blind is because I didn't know maybe the deer's there already. So it's like a, I can't even really score it yet because I don't know what but it's like a 12, 13 point buck. Yeah. And so I walk all the way down there. There's no deer there. I take my bow. I set it inside the blind. I walk all the way back to my truck and I get a bag of corn and a chair. And so I go out there. I needed another bag of corn for the feeder. So I walk. It's like 250 yards. So by the time I get there with this 50-pound bag of corn and that chair, I'm a little winded, right? So spread the corn, get the chair, put it in the blind. As I'm putting it in the blind, I look up inside, and there's probably 10 to 15 wasps flying all over that thing. So I start pulling the windows down in it, letting them. I finally get all them out. I almost get stung, which I'm not allergic or anything, but it just doesn't feel good. And so I'm like, all right. So I sit down, kind of catch my breath. By this point, it's probably like 11:30, 11:20. And so I was like, I'm going to get my bow and I'm just going to get ready. And I'm going to sit here. I pick up my bow is snapped in half. Like when you pull a crossbow back, like the two arms that come back, one of them is snapped. When I say snapped, I mean it's broken in half. There's no fixing it. There's no like gluing it. There's no repairing. And so I'm sitting there going, I just drove 2 hours. If the deer walks out right now, I can't do anything but spit at it. Like I can't
throw an arrow.
I could throw my knife. And I had a bad image. I had like I got my pistol. Like, what if but I was like, I can't do that. It's a big deer. You can't do that. So I sat there and I was like, do I just go back home? Like, do I just, I mean, it's bow season. There's nothing else I can do. And I said, you know what? I know what I'm going to do. Said, I'm going to go into town. It's like 25 minutes in town. I'm going to go to Walmart. I'm going to buy a bow. I'm going to get a target and I'm just going to get me a new bow. So I get out of the blind at 11:58. Remember that time, 11:58. Okay. 11:58. I leave, I go into town, go to Walmart, get a bow, come back, get to the land, walk in the front gate or pull in the front gate. I get out, I got to put the bow together. Okay, so it doesn't come assembled. So I got to put this whole bow together, and then you got to sight it in. It's got a scope, so I've got to sight it in, which I'm glad I did because it was like 1.5 feet low. So I had to change the scope to where it was level or where it was on target. And as I'm doing that, like I'm shooting this target, and it took me probably 4 or 5 arrows before to get it sighted in. Well, I go to pick up these arrows that came with it. They're like just practice arrows. And they had all gone through the target, hit the tree behind them, and snapped in half. So all I had was now the 2 arrows, like broadheads, that I'm actually going to hunt with. That's all I had. Oh. And so I'm like, what the heck, man? So I get to the bow. I've got it cocked back. I walk down there. I get in the blind at 1:30. So I was gone. I did all that within about an hour and a half. So I was like, all right, I'm going to sit here till dark, whatever. So I'm looking left, I'm looking straight. I'm looking left, I'm looking straight. That's where he had been kind of like coming in at. Tony, about that at 3:30, out the corner of my eye, this sucker come in from the right. And he got so close that if I'd have had my knife out, I could have probably like flung my knife and hit it. So he walks out. I line up. I'm so close to him that when I look through the scope, I don't see anything but brown.
Oh my gosh.
And so shoot, hit him. I'm excited. I'm like, oh, the adrenaline's rushing. I'm shaking. I'm like so excited. It's so hot because in that blind and it's hot outside. I've never hunted this early in the season of my life because I've never had my own spot. And so I'm like almost giddy. Like I'm almost like a girl. Like I wanted to scream out loud like that. I was just so, it was like one of those, I was so happy. I just wanted to make a noise. I just wanted to do something wild. And so I was like, all right, I need to wait. And I was like, I can't wait. And I was like, I need to wait. It's like, I can't wait. So I just hopped out. I go over to where it was standing. There's nothing. There's no signs that I hit it at all. There's no fur, like there's nothing. So I'm like, and on my camera, you can see me for like the next 30 minutes walking around just like, I can't find the arrow. I can't find nothing. I'm like, did I miss? Like, did I miss this close? So I start walking around the property and I go basically on the border or like on the property line between me and the person behind me. And I'm like, I'm just going to walk this entire property line. If it went in further, I'll have to go, I'll go over there and look, but I'm just going to walk our property line. About 200 yards to the left, I see him laying there. I had gotten him. So now,
awesome.
So now I got to drag him all the way back, and I'll send you a picture so that you can put it right there so you can see what it looks like. But I had to drag it all the way back to at least a trail to where I'm about to send it. Did I send you a picture of it? Or you can put that up on there. But
yeah, I'll put it up.
So
there.
I drag it all the way back. I didn't have a four-wheeler side-by-side or nothing. So I had to drag it about 200 yards to get it back to a trail. Then I drove my truck down, got it. Now I got to get it to the processor. So end up getting it to the processor about 10 minutes before they close. And yeah, biggest deer I've ever killed in my life. And I had to sight in a new bow. God was like, if you want it, you're going to work for it.
Oh, man.
I told you that 11:58 for a reason. So I got out of the blind at 11:58. Like I'm on camera at 11:58 walking out. At 12:03, 5 minutes later, that deer was standing in front of my blind. If I wait any longer, I can't leave until he's either gone or I take a chance of scaring him. So when I left, it
was absolutely the latest that you could have waited.
The latest. If I wait even 2 more minutes and he's coming from this way and I get out of the blind and scare, I mean, it could have been so bad. I could have completely missed it. Yeah. So craziest story, but man, it was so worth it. I was so happy. That's
really cool, man. Yeah, that's staying persistent, like sticking with it. You stayed with it. You didn't give up. You didn't break. Like, man, that's huge. That's what we've been working on, man. With this football stuff and with everything. It just everything in life, and like so that is a great story that just personifies all of that.
Yeah, and that's what I was trying to do. But man, between that and then being gone from the kids for so long, boy, I mean, I knew I loved my kids, but being gone for that long and getting back was just brutal. Like I was so ready to see them kids.
I feel
like we didn't get back until I think almost 10 o'clock Friday night, and our kid, like we went and picked our kids up from our in-laws. We were like, keep them up, like we're gonna come get them, and so, but. It was great, man.
I feel that, man.
So, well, cool, dude. Well, hey, we'll hop on the Sportscast one day this week, and we'll cover some sports, especially college football. I don't know if you watched the Texas OU game. We'll talk about that one. I don't know if you caught that game at all, or did you see the Arkansas-Tennessee game? We got to talk about that. So a lot going on. Fantasy football too. Got to talk about that. Is not going well.
There have been some good games. There have been some injuries, and there have been.
I am 0-5 right now.
Oh my lord! Oh my lord!
It ain't looking good for your boy come punishment time.
Oh, you did this to yourself.
I know. You did this to yourself, and I think it's the waffle one. Like you got to spend 24 hours in an IHOP, but every waffle you eat takes off an hour.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, so
that's fun though.
But dude, I loved it, man. Good job, good stuff. Glad to be back. We'll be back in the studio this week sometime and get something rolled out. Even though I like our Tuscan Fiji vibes we got going here.
Absolutely. It feels great. Feels great out here. The air is fine.
It
And the
does.
water's
Hey,
nice.
it's crisp. It's crisp. It's so
Absolutely.
crisp. So
Absolutely. Jayson, thank you, man. It's good to talk to you. Good to see you. Glad you made it back safely.
don't mess it up. Don't you mess this up. Shut
The dang door. Let's go.
See ya.
Peace.